As well, if there's any children aboard, if you want them to sit on your lap, now is the time to do so. They are to remain on the adult's lap that it's originally sitting on. No passing your kids around, and no switching seats with anybody. Please remain seated the entire way. As we start to enter into the little teary forest, this is the first part of the reserve. Keep an eye out for animals with natural colors and markings.
Yeah, there's one of them.
Up ahead, I do see a greater kudu. Coming up on the left. On the right is the okapi. The okapi looks like it might be related to the zebra, but it's actually not. It's related to the giraffe.
Now we can see the okapi.
To your right, the okapi. To the left, the greater kudu.
So this is the okapi. The one that we can
Also,
see
coming up
here.
to your left, you could see some bongos. They also have the nickname Ghost of the Forest. How well they are hard to find and how well they could hide in the backdrop. Both male and female bongos have horns, while the greater kudu females do not have horns.
Oh, thank you. They're so beautiful. Their face are on point. With the...
Oh, there's another greater kudu up here on the hill over here. Coming up to your right.
There's another kudu.
Now coming up to the left, if you look in the back over there, that is a black rhino.
A black rhino.
There are less than 5,000 black rhinos in the world due to poaching for their horns. Many regions and cultures believe that their horns contain special powers, but they actually just contain the same material as our hair and fingernails. I'm going to go ahead and take you out of the forest and to the Safi River. I heard there was some hippo activity at the Safi River, so let's go see if we can find some hippos. Now, hippos are nocturnal animals, so during the day they will sleep in the water, and at night they will come out to graze on the grass. So keep your eyes in the water.
Oh, so they're nocturnal. I did they will be in the water.
See after they come back, because they told me that they had to come back.
Look at the water.
Not seeing any hippos yet.
What are these blackbirds?
I'm sorry?
What are the blackbirds here? Vultures?
Those are vultures. Those are native vultures.
Native vultures.
Yeah. I see those in much orange.
Look at their wings.
Oh, there's a hippo coming up on the left-hand side. In the water. Now, now hippos don't technically like to swim. They actually like to go down on the water and walk at the bottom of the bank. There's a third one. A group of hippos is called a bloat, so that is a bloat of hippos. Those pelicans are the pinkback pelicans. They get their name, the pinkback pelican, because they get pink backs during mating season. Here are more hippos. Now hippos, unfortunately, they have extremely sensitive skin, so they can't get that suntan that you were speaking of. In fact, their skin gets really red and kind of has a defense, kind of like an aloe on their skin.
Why are they
Don't worry, the birds will move out of the way.
showing their wings?
Now please remain seated as we come across over here. To your left, you will see some Nile crocodiles.
Crocodiles, yeah, I see it.
Now, Nile crocodiles are cold-blooded animals, so for them to cool off, they need to either jump into the water, or the two that you see right here with their mouths open, they'll leave their mouths open to get all of that air out. A crocodile's jaw is 2,000 pounds strong per square inch of that jaw it is. But even though they got those really strong jaws, they're able to cradle their eggs into their mouths. They put their eggs into the mouth to encourage their little ones to hatch. I'm going to take you out of the Safi River into an entirely different ecosystem, the Savanna Grasslands. If you look up, coming up on your right hand side, that is the baobab tree, also known as the upside down tree. It gets its nickname, the upside down tree, because it kind of looks like the roots are on the top, but it's not its roots. It just remains leafless 9 months out of the year.
Upside down tree.
Now, the Savanna Grassland is home to some of the most famous animals, such as lions, elephants, and giraffes.
Lions, elephants.
This is my most favorite view of the Savanna. This, folks, is the Savanna we are trying so hard today to protect and conserve. Now, coming up on the right-hand side toward the back, you see those are Springbok. Way over there in the back. Those small animals over there, those are Springbok. They get their name from how high they can jump. They can jump up to 6 feet in the air, and they can jump forward at least 13 feet.
It's like a small kanchil.
They are one of the top 10 fastest land animals. They need to be super fast to get away from predators.
Oh, hyena.
That is not a hyena, that is actually an African wild dog.
Nice.
Unlike most dogs, though, they're not even part of the canine family. They have 4 toes instead of 5. They may look cute and cuddly, and you may want to get one as a pet, but actually they're the most successful predators in Africa. 90% of the time they will catch their prey. The way they catch their prey is they chase down it as a pack until the prey collapse in complete exhaustion. Back there towards the left-hand side, that is the Sable Antelope. The Sable Antelope is the emblem of the reserve. Unlike most prey animals, instead of running away, they actually fight back. These large orange structures that you see around the savanna, those are termite mounds. Termite mounds are made of saliva, dirt, and a little bit of dung. They bask in the sun all day, become hard as concrete. An elephant or a giraffe will use it as a scratching post sometimes when it is vacant from the termites. But because those are such large animals, they will knock it over eventually through all that rough force of getting that good scratch. A small animal like the springbok will stand on top of the broken ones to look out into that tall grass to see if any predators are trying to come after them. Over there in the back you can see some white-bearded wildebeest. Now, the white-bearded wildebeest is one of the largest migrating herd animals in Africa. Up to 1.5 million can be in one herd, and they'll migrate over 500 to 1,000 miles away. I do see some giraffe coming up ahead. They look like they're in the shade. Those are definitely the Maasai giraffes. A giraffe can be 18 to 20 feet tall, but when they're born at least 6 feet tall.
They're all sitting down.
There's one up here, a little bit closer. They have 7 vertebrae in their neck. That's the same amount of vertebrae we have in our neck, except obviously theirs are much larger.
You want to cross or what?
Nope.
They're quite fast when they run.
Giraffes have actually rather large hearts.
Hi.
Their hearts can be up to 25 pounds.
25.
They need these large hearts so they can pump all that blood up those long necks of theirs to their brains. Now it looks like there might be some fallen trees over here. Fallen trees are usually a good sign for elephants, so let's keep our eyes out for some elephants. There is a Mantle Monkey over here to your left.
Lion
They
King.
are one of the largest monkeys. It kind of looks like Rafiki. Rafiki is actually a mixture of a baboon and a Mantle Monkey. Now the difference between an ape and a monkey are two things. One, an ape does not have a tail, while a monkey does have a tail. Even though their tails are really short, they are considered monkeys.
Oh, come on.
Oh, they're fighting.
Oh.
Oh, you can see that elephant way in the back. Now I'm going to try to get a better view further up ahead. So just keep your eye out for that elephant. There might be a couple more up ahead if we look, since there is one right there. I can tell that one was actually an African elephant. The way I can tell is the size of their ears. Their ears are also kind of in the shape of Africa.
It's cute.
Now it looks like we're heading into the red clay pits. This is also a good spot to find some elephants. Elephants will dig their tusks into the red clay, kind of as you'll see on the right hand side over here. They'll wait for that red clay to fall, and then they'll eat the red clay. Not necessarily because it tastes good. Oh, there's an elephant right here. I'm sorry. Some of them. Some of them are born here. There's more just up ahead, so we're going to try to get a better view. Now, as you can see, some of them actually have dirt on their back. That's because they throw this dirt on their back so that it could be used as a sunblock for them. They do have rather sensitive skin and also really sensitive hearing. Here's another one. Oh, there's one right there. Closer up ahead. I don't know what that one's doing, but it's definitely interested in something.
It's eating.
You can see that dirt on their back. Now that one in the back, way in the back, is actually flapping his ears back and forth.
Ooh.
They do that so they can cool themselves off, not necessarily because the ears create wind and cool them off like a fan. That is one way, but also they have large blood vessels in their ear. And when they get those active, it can cool down the elephant at least 15 degrees.
15 degrees.
What's... Oh, it's ducks.
Alright. Not seeing any more elephants, but I am seeing flamingos. These are the greater flamingos. They are the largest and lightest pink of flamingos. Now,
have to go to
even though they're
Aruba.
pink right now, when they're born, they're not pink, they're actually gray.
Great.
They will get the pink later on in life from their diet, which contain brine shrimp. The brine shrimp contain keratin, which makes their feathers pink. Oh, I see some ostriches up ahead. Ostriches. Oh, and there's white rhinos right there in the back.
Rhino.
Wow, rhinos.
Ostriches are the largest birds in the world. Now, even though they are birds, they're actually flightless. They cannot fly even though they have wings. They use those wings instead with their direction when they are turning, because they are the fastest land animal on with 2 legs.
Oh my god, we are getting a really good view.
There's some white rhinos up there.
Oh, I want to
The difference between a black rhino and a white rhino is actually 2 things. One, the size. A black rhino could be 3,000 pounds, while a white rhino could be 4,000 to 5,000 pounds. The other difference between a black and a white rhino is their lips. A white rhino has a wide set of lips, while a black rhino has a pointed lip to get those leaves off the trees. Now coming up are the Cokie Rocks. It's not the type of rock it is, it's actually the rock formation that it is. It's rather large with those big rocks piled up on one another. Cokie Rocks usually attract larger cats, and that's because they like to stand on top of the rocks and look out into the savanna to see if any prey might be hiding out for them in that tall grass.
Wow.
Coming up on the right hand side is a Bontebok.
Bontebok?
Right here, the right hand side, that's a Bontebok. It's a relative of the Wildebeest.
Bontebok.
At one point there were only 17 Bontebok left in the wild due to being poached. But thanks to reserves like ours and farmers in Africa, we are able to bring that number up a bit. See a warthog? Yeah, right there.
Where?
Next to that log and that rock.
I cannot see. Can you see it?
I'm not seeing it.
Kind of looks like a furry log. Yeah.
No.
That's actually is one reason why we have burrows right
Oh,
here.
oh yeah. They... Oh my god. Wow.
Ah, I see why. It looks like there was a hawk there.
Cute.
Probably saw him in this territory. Actually, warthogs are very territorial.
I didn't see it in the first place.
Yeah, it suddenly jumped out.
Yeah, it jumped out so cute.
Now, warthogs are one of Africa's largest burrowing animals. They're the ones that cause those burrows. They will dig with their snout and tusks.
It goes back to its place. Yeah.
Can you see him in the back over there still?
It went back to its original place.
Oh, he already returned.
I think he the one at the back. they cannot get to see the wombat.
Warthogs will back into those burrows, show off those tusks of theirs. That way they can defend themselves if needed to. A warthog and a rhino are actually the same. They can go the same speed of 35 miles an hour.
Wow.
So even though one is really small with stubby legs and one is really large with stubby legs, they can actually both go 35 miles an hour. Now it looks like, I don't see any more animals, but it looks like we're reaching the end of our safari. Now I'm going to take you back to the same dock that you guys came from, so we'll take a little bit to get there, but just bear with me. Now if you do want to see more animals, I suggest going over to Gorilla Falls before 7 o'clock, that's the time that they close. Gorilla Falls has gorillas, meerkats, naked mole rat, zebras, and hippos. If you're hungry and you would like to grab some late lunch, you can go over to Tusker House. It is a sit-down restaurant and they have a wild variety of African cuisine. It's really good.
Ooh. We're going on the water.
As well as we have mentioned some animals here that are endangered and are in need of your help, as well as many more animals out there. One way Disney's trying to help is Disney has formed the Disney Conservation Fund. Disney will match you dollar for dollar if you do give, just go up to one of the merchandise or food and beverage locations and you are able to. But you can also get a really nice button to go with it as well, to show that you have supported the Disney Conservation Fund.
What is that?
This is seeing wildlife reserve, right?
Alright, we are almost there. Now for any wilderness explorers on board with me, my truck's name is the Symbol 1. Symbol like the line and the number 1. It is really hot outside, guys, so make sure you are drinking your water.
Dia dapat tempat depan dia.
Malas buat di depan makan.